Welcome.
Bienvenidos, bienvenidas.
Willkommen.
Ahla wa sahla to breakfast together.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Another Sunday here.
Hello, everybody.
Bom dia, galera.
Bom dia, pessoal.
Kalimera, kalimera.
Günaydın. Herkese.
How everyone is doing?
Winter. Yes, actually, very funny thing. I am actually sick. It's funny that I moved to Turkey just to have a warmer climate, and I'm in a warmer climate, and I got sick. And in Poland for 2 years, where I was living in a colder climate, I wasn't sick. So I always say,
I think it's the cold bath.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, the cold bath was helping me. And now since I deem the agency to be too warm to be deeping for ice swimming, here we go. So yeah, but no, not a big deal, guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about the
With
rest?
that being said, what is our exciting topic of today?
We talk about it, but I forgot.
I think I wrote it down somewhere here, but I cannot find
No,
it.
in
on,
the
guys.
fridge. I wrote it in the fridge, and I was like in a sticker, but I
Come
forgot.
on, guys. It is books. Books. We're gonna talk
Euros,
That's why
about
you
euros.
something
remember.
Books.
That's
all
why you
polyglots
remember.
love. Most polyglots, at least. We all have something to do with books. Yes, Tilemahos is showing his.
My first book in
I'm ready
Portuguese.
as well. Come
Oh,
on,
wow,
what is
guys.
this?
What a variety we have
Yeah.
here, eh?
Everyone is prepared, huh?
Oh, wait. This is a good one. Come on, guys.
Nice.
Yeah, I showed you one of the very few physical books that I have, but it's a present, so like it's still here.
So interesting that you said you don't have a lot of physical books. So you are from these people that they normally read on this, how it's called, the
On
like
a
an
tablet.
iPad or tablet, or
Yeah,
like
the thing that the kids use today,
the
give me
Kindle.
the
The kids, yeah. This is like the new generation, the Kindle.
Yes, no, the kids, like this iPad stuff, this computer,
This computer, yes, these new
Yes.
systems.
Mhm.
So are you this one of these?
Yeah, absolutely. I almost don't
Sorry,
read physical books. I find
I'm leaving.
Come
I
on.
find it so little practical. Like it's good for the environment, and when I travel, and I travel a lot, I can take like, I don't know, 5, 6 books with me if I want to. So I got this habit when I moved to Norway many years ago, like almost 14 years ago. And yeah, I mostly read from my tablet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
no, I get this point, and I think that's super nice to have. But I don't know, like when you have a physical copy, it's different. It's yeah,
Yes.
I am these people that you can see like a lot of books in that I haven't read so far, but they're there. But I like to see them, like now, as you can see, Tilemahos as well.
Oh, wow.
So for our listeners, we're seeing right now Tilemahos bookshelf, which is full of books,
Yes.
and I guess
Most of them not read.
yeah, I will guess like 70% is about history.
No, actually, I only have one book about history. It's a pretty small one.
Oh yeah, very small.
This little
Yeah,
Tom.
there's a couple of pages.
Reminds me the one that we had in the university that I never opened.
Come on.
It's like
Close to
still
5 bricks.
Small book. It's just like the history from the dawn of civilization until today. It's not.
Is that your birthday present?
Actually, it was a birthday present. Yes,
You see?
not from this birthday, but from another birthday.
And you still haven't opened it, have you?
No, because I know it already.
I hope your friend who gave you the book is listening.
So, Asia, what about you? Are you like one of these people that buy physical books, or like are you reading on the iPad
Yeah,
or phone?
I do agree with the fact that with you, Dimi, about the thing that when you have a physical book, it's different and it's definitely more. I don't know. It like just feels nicer. But then, yes, if you can imagine the life for the past whatever years since I've been traveling to so many places, to so many countries, I do have a Kindle. That's like something that I carry always with me because whenever I travel, I prefer to just put this little Kindle, which is, very thin, super lightweight, and you have so many books in there in different languages, and you can just pull it out and, read it, and you can take it anywhere. But with the books, it's usually a bit difficult. But then recently, I've started to slowly buy physical books as well, and there are some of my, I mean, since I get older, day by year, some of my friends and acquaintances are writing their own books, and
Wow.
Oh,
I very happily purchase some of those as well for the memory. And it's like a great thing to have a physical copy, because when it's a friend's book, that they've worked a lot about the design, and they try to include the photos and so on and so forth. Yeah, that's so I would say I'm 50-50, or maybe even 60-40 for the Kindle, because of the practicity.
Right.
But yeah, but the physical book, yeah, I as a kid, I remember me and my mom, my house was full of books. It was literally, even we had
Same.
shelves in the toilet. It was crazy. We didn't have any space. And I
Did you
remember
have one
my
of these
mom.
book walls?
it,
Where like one, at least one wall of the room is just
yeah, that's
books,
like books.
basically.
Yeah,
every
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and it's the same in my mom's house now, even though she lives in a different place, but books are just everywhere. And I do remember as a kid, like when we were going, especially through the art books, the art, the sculpture and so on, those books, like the pages smelled so nice. It was like so
yes,
Yeah,
fancy,
yes.
it's like
that
old smell. I love it.
yeah.
It's so
So it's like
nice.
a nice cognitive experience, that you're not only remembering the book itself, because Kindle obviously is sort of a soulless, if I can put it that way.
Mm,
But the physical book brings you a bit more emotion, and as a kid you do recall them more. So I guess
Hmm.
solely for this,
yeah.
I do appreciate physical books.
Definitely. And
But
it's also, I think it's a good like exercise in general, like I would say reading for concentration, because nowadays, like even we are becoming the generation that is like, kind of scrolling. We're used to like 1 minute video max. And reading a book is just like so good because it like keeps you present in the moment, and you focus on what you're reading. I think
Right.
Yeah,
we
for sure.
definitely need more of that. But what is everyone reading at the moment? If you are reading anything, but I guess we are.
I think the books
Oh, what
that
a question.
we saw in the
nah,
video.
But I think people don't know what we
Right,
showed.
right, right.
but actually, a quick parenthesis before that. When you're talking about the Kindle, I thought of one thing that is where I think it's better than the normal books, is that you can actually look up words. If
Mm,
you read a book in a foreign language, you can actually click on the word
Yeah.
yeah,
and see how it is in some other language.
super
Because
practical.
with the other books, you have to you have to have use your phone or something to look up the words. But in the Kindle, you just have it there, so it makes reading book in a foreign language a bit easier, actually.
Mm,
That's a
totally.
good tip, and I didn't know about that part. Thanks for bringing this up, Dilemma here, because to be honest, I'm working in the tech, and I'm like I've been dealing with systems and computers and phones like since I don't know when I was 12, and it's one of the things that I haven't done so far, like buying a Kindle. I used to use the iPad, but I had IT stuff there. So that's actually a good tip because I normally try to, back to your question, Irena, I normally try to read things on foreign language because I feel I don't have the time nowadays to read other books. I do keep try to get back to books that I already started, and then I forget where I was and what was the topic, so I read back again. But I
Yeah.
normally just read like in foreign languages, and sometimes it's a bit tiring because of like when you don't know so well the language. I think it's tiring, so I prefer to read either Spanish or German,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes trying in Portuguese or French, which is definitely like takes me like half an hour to finish like 2-3 pages or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a lot
Yeah.
more effort, but you get a lot more
Exactly.
in return. And
Yeah.
I actually also have this like limit because I think if you're working with a screen, you really don't want to see a screen in front of
Mm.
you
Yeah,
after you're done
Yeah, for
working.
sure.
So it's
And
like,
most of us are, I guess.
yeah.
yeah,
So you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay, I
it's
want something
unavoidable.
physical now,
Mm-hmm.
nothing like that.
yeah.
But
Closing the day with something that's not like a phone or laptop
Yeah.
or.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
what are you reading right now, folks?
I'm reading a super interesting book that was recommended to me by my Portuguese friend. So shout out to Rita. I just spent like 3 days in a row with her. It's called The Donut Economy. Have you guys heard about it?
I the name
nobody
yes.
sounds delicious.
Yeah, it's a book by Kate Rayworth, I guess. That's how it's pronounced. And I'm not an economist and I don't have the background, neither does my friend, but it's basically about the new way of managing the modern economy because, most of the countries aim to just grow the GDP. And like that's how the world works, but the author offers an alternative which is more sustainable, which is more environmental friendly, and like she gives a lot of examples. And actually, this model, the donut, it has been very popular, and many countries start to embrace it. And it's written, I would say, in a fairly simple language. So even if you don't have any um, knowledge of the topic, like you can understand, like me. And so I'm reading about the donut. I'm about
Mm.
200
And
pages.
it's not a recipe.
Yeah. It's a recipe how to fix the world economy. I think like it's really cool. And I normally read like a mix of fiction, self-help, or books like this, informative. And I try to vary, because when I only read self-help, like I go crazy, like it's a little bit too much.
Mm.
So
Right.
next one will probably be fiction, because this one is not
But
yet.
do you read in so what's do you do in your native language? Do you read in any other language of because as everybody knows you speak a lot of languages, so I guess yeah, your bookshelf will be like full of different books from like I don't know like German, like Serbian, like Spanish, Portuguese, like
Yeah, I try like
what
this
is your
year.
to go? You know, like what is your language for reading right now?
Spanish, I would say, but I mean, like, I never read in Russian. I used to read in Russian. I don't read in Russian anymore. So it's
Mhm.
like English, Spanish, but also often Portuguese, Italian, rarely Polish or German. But I've also done this. So I guess like those are and yeah, Italian. Did I mention that? I guess I did. Those are the main ones. And it's like, as you say, like with German, for example, it takes me a lot more effort and
Yeah,
a lot longer,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
yeah. And I mostly read German original, so not translation.
right.
So something that was originally written in German, and that's more difficult than translation, I guess.
Mhm.
What about you folks? What are you currently reading? I'm excited to know.
I was actually thinking how to respond to this question about what books are you reading, because in the past it used to be that you read one book and you kind of talk about it, right? But then now I caught myself because of probably because of the different devices and how the world obviously developed, and we have the phone, the audiobooks. I do also listen to audiobooks, apart from Kindle and apart from physical books, so that keeps you pretty much constantly listening or reading something, which is quite crazy, but that's the time we're in. And I listened to around three different books through my phone. One
Oh
of them
wow.
is this, yeah, Between the Wood and the Water. That's by Patrick Fermor. I may have pronounced his surname wrong, but it's just briefly about the journey of an Englishman from England on foot to Istanbul. And I'm
Oh.
specifically waiting for the point until he gets to Istanbul, but I'm in Romania at the moment, and so like takes ages.
Pretty
But
close, though.
anyway,
Pretty close.
yeah,
Yeah,
the physical book is Elif Shafak. I haven't read all her books. She's
I love
obviously
Elif Shafak. You know
very
that.
well known. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
reading the Three Sisters. But then about the languages, I actually thought about this, what you said, Irena, and I can totally agree with the fact that I stopped reading books in Russian, so in my native language, at the age of 17, more or less. So that was like around 20, more than 20 years ago. Because I had this very clear understanding for some reason when I moved to Poland, to the land of my grandparents. I was like, okay, why would I read in Russian? I speak the language, I know it. I actually have to read in some other language so that I can improve it and so on. So I mostly read in Polish and English. Those are my two languages that are enough for the level of getting
Mm.
into any type of literature, because I read different things. But I do read a lot and extensively about Turkey, specifically Istanbul, and not only the political or economical, but also some kind of just poetry, because I like to see Turkey from that side. Yeah, I tried to read in Spanish, and Juvafina. Jevafina. I again may have pronounced wrong, but that was a very difficult book that I picked up on the second month, I think, of learning Spanish. It was a
Oh.
disaster, but at the same time, I read it on Kindle. So what Telemachos was mentioning about translating the words and helping you to understand the context, that worked out greatly. I also used Google Lens and kind of reread
Mm.
the page, so that can be also a language exercise. I don't know.
Hmm.
Are you guys
That's a
using
good
the
point.
books themselves to learn languages, to help you learn languages? Because reading skill, I guess, at least for me, is not the first skill I go to when I learn the language. I kind of obviously jump to it whenever I have some base in the language,
Of
right?
course.
It
Yeah.
ties to your way, I think, of learning, where you, I think, from all of us, you're the most one who just dives in the culture, the language, like
Yes.
jumps into
And
the street and starts interacting with the people.
But it's
Street is
difficult.
me.
It's difficult to read in the beginning. Reading is like I feel like it's more advanced, right?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
need
because
you
of the
need to
Yeah, for
vocabulary.
sure.
exactly.
Exactly.
It's a different, completely different vocabulary.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, oof, so many things to say. I don't know where, I don't know where to start. But it was an interesting point about how many books you read in your native language, because most of the books I've read are in English. Actually, I've read very, very few books in Greek, and actually to the point where I read Greek books and I have to look up the word in English to understand what they mean, because it's just like literary words that you don't really know what they are, and
You don't
you
use
know
them in the daily life, right?
yeah, you don't use them in daily life. And I mean, there is like, compared to English, let's say, like written, like media, let's say, there's so few Greek ones that you're not exposed to them so much, so you end up actually not. So I would argue in that way, like, for reading in your native language, because otherwise you might actually lose all of the um, like literary vocabulary of your own language when doing this. But to the other question, the book I'm reading now, like one of the books I'm reading now, is called, I guess in English, Travels with Herodotos, Viajes con Herodotos, and in Spanish. It's a Polish book, like a book from a Polish author, Kapuscinski. Probably you know him.
Richard in the
Yes,
house.
Richard. Richard in the house. And it's
Great author.
yes, yes, I can really see it, and it's a book from a Polish author about a Greek historian in Spanish.
In Spanish.
Wow. That
Yes,
can't get more polyglot than that,
yeah.
guys.
Actually, it was given to me by a polyglot friend, Anya, because she's Polish and we were speaking in Spanish. So she, like, okay, you speak Spanish now. Here's a Spanish book for you to read. At
Nice.
the point, I was like nowhere close to understanding anything, but now I'm reading it, and it's very interesting because it's, again, different vocabulary than what you would like know from from the spoken word. And a funny thing is that because it's a bit like more old vocabulary, it's actually similar to Portuguese in some ways.
Oh,
So because I realized that Portuguese is a bit like old Spanish in some sense. So
yeah.
actually I see
Talk
like
about
words
it.
and I'm like, okay, I can understand this just because I speak Portuguese, but
Hmm.
otherwise I would have to look it up. So it's a very interesting experience, very bizarre experience, but I think it's really helpful. It's slower, of course, but it's pretty fun.
Cool.
But
Nice.
what about you, Dimi? What are you reading right now?
As I mentioned before, so I normally try to read books that are like in a easy level for language learning purposes. So it's if you never heard about that, it's the Easy Stories. There's like a series of books about that from an author, but I don't really recall the name right now. So I normally read when I have time these to practice my language, which I think it's really important. As you said, Irena, it's difficult in the beginning, and you shouldn't, in my opinion, try
Mm,
to read in a foreign language that you're learning
I agree.
from the day one, maybe like after 3 4 months when you get like a bit more vocabulary, because in the end of the day. what you want to achieve with reading is like to enhance your vocabulary, because you see the words that you know or you heard or you're learning in a context. And also I think it helps also with grammar. I'm not a big fan of learning grammar by sitting down and open grammar books and, oh, this verb is conjugated this way. I prefer to see stuff, um, like how it's written on in a natural, let's say, language. So like directly like studying, let's say, the grammar rules there. And what you also mentioned before I start doing that, I think you, Asia, I start doing that now after talking with Tilemahos. When we meet with Tilemahos outside, we normally talk about how to improve our language learning, because we are both passionate about that. And because I normally don't do pronunciation, I don't improve my pronunciation in any way. I start like trying to read to have the audiobook and the book, the physical book, and reading at the same
Mm,
time, so improving my pronunciation this way. So yeah, one thing is that I normally read is like books about like that they're at a graded level. And then sometimes I self-improvement books, but as Irena said, it can be a bit tiring sometimes,
right.
because normally you see the same things all the time. And
True, true.
lately I start like reading, like I would call it like psychology book. It's called Atats, and it's from Amir Levine and Rachel Heller, which talk about the attachment theory. And it's really,
Anxious. What's the
yes,
other one?
anxious,
Avoidance,
avoidant.
Avoidant. Yeah, yeah, and
insecure.
anxious. Yeah.
Yes, and it's really.
Amazing
Uh,
book. I
I
have
think
read
a lot
it.
of people. I was recommended
Yeah.
from another friend of mine. So yeah, that's normally what I go for.
Seems like there's a lot to talk about, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds super interesting. Right. So we have, as I mentioned in the beginning, because we are polyglots, we naturally have so much to share about the books because we're so passionate about it. I mean, I don't want to assume that all polyglots like reading, but at least these four polyglots do. So I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did talking about it. And I think that there are a lot of things that are left unsaid, and we have so much more to contribute on this topic. So we wrap up for now, but we will see you in part 2 of the books episode.
Libros, libros.
Thank you very much, everybody, for listening, and have a great Sunday morning.
Thank you for listening, guys. Enjoy your Sunday.
Beijinhos.
Beijinhos!
Beijinhos.
Muchos besos. Chao, chao.